Recently I won my district table topics contest, and today I want to share with you all of my best secrets so that you can win your own table topics contest and so that you can also deliver table topics that make your audience say, "Wow, that was incredible." If you're a Toastmaster, definitely subscribe to this channel because every single week I'm bringing out new videos on how to deliver presentations more effectively. But today we're talking about table topics. And there are 4 things that we are going to discuss in this video. Number 1, the types of topics you can expect to get. Number 2, how you should approach your topics in an effective way. Number 3, how you can structure your 2 minutes. And number 4, how you can actually prepare for a table topics contest. So the types of topics. I believe we can roughly divide table topics into 3 different categories. The first category is what I like to call personal topics. These are topics that are specifically directed towards your personal experiences. So some examples could be, what's your favorite food? If you could be an animal, which animal would you be? Who is the most inspirational person in your life? All of these questions are directed towards your personal experiences. The second type of topic is external topics. Now, these require you to talk about things outside of your personal experiences. For example, you could be asked, how can we stop climate change? Who is the most important person in history? What will the next 20 years look like? All of these questions require you to talk about things outside of your own personal experiences. Yes, you can maybe make them a little bit personal, but you have to ultimately talk about something external. And lastly, we have what I like to call crazy topics. These are the wild topics. They could be, if you were the king of the world, what would you do? You are this rock. Describe your day. Who would you rather fight? Gary or Davy? I don't even know who Gary and Davy are. You get the point. These topics, they're wild, they're crazy, they're all over the place. And you've also got to learn how to deal with them as well. So in general, these are the 3 types of topics you can expect. Personal topics, external topics, and crazy topics. Now please remember these, because when we get to the structure part of this video, these 3 types of topics are going to be very, very important. But first, let's talk about your approach. And by approach, I mean what you are doing literally minutes before you deliver your topic. First, let's talk about your mindset. Your mind has to be completely clear going into a table topics contest. Sometimes people go in with an idea of a story they want to share or what they want to say before they've even heard the topic. And I've done this myself. In 2019, when I was competing in the district contest, I couldn't get out of my head the idea of speaking about Happy Gilmore, the movie. And that year, funnily enough, the topic was, if your life was a movie, what type of movie would it be? And so I immediately walked up there with confidence and started talking about Happy Gilmore. And it went flat. I didn't get the reaction I wanted. I didn't really answer the question. I just spoke about Happy Gilmore. And that was because my mind was narrowed in on Happy Gilmore. It was fixated on that. And this is the problem when you go into a table topics contest with an idea of what you want to say. Because you're in such a high-pressured situation, your brain immediately defaults to that thing you were thinking about. And this is why I say, go into your contest thinking about nothing. Make sure that your mind is a blank canvas. That way you can fully absorb the question you are asked and then answer more effectively. The second part of your approach is your ideas. Now imagine that you've just heard the question. If you could be a plant, what plant would you be? What's important here is that you don't immediately go with your first idea. And I got this tip from a mentor of mine called James McGinty, who's won the Table Topics contest at District 3 times. Basically, what he says is that your first idea is often not your best idea. And it's better to actually allow your mind to think of another idea and go with that instead. So with that table topic I asked you, if you could be a plant, what plant would you be? You might immediately think, oh, I would be a daffodil. But there might not actually be a lot of longevity in that answer. But if you give yourself a chance to think, you might come up with a second idea. Oh, I would be a weed, because weeds are resilient. Weeds keep going even when people try and rip them out. So personally for me, I would be able to talk a lot longer about a weed compared to a daffodil. When you hear the question, don't immediately latch on to that first idea. Give your brain time to think of another one because it might just be better. The third part of your approach is the walk. And what we often see when people are walking up to answer their topic is this. Walking as slowly as possible. And I get it because you're giving yourself some extra seconds to think of an answer. But here's the thing. It makes you look incredibly nervous before you've even spoken. And you know, and I know, first impressions are very important. So I would suggest that you approach the topic, you approach the stage with confidence. And that means walking with purpose, walking like you already know what you're going to say, even if you don't. But it gives you a good first impression, and you might just find that if you walk with purpose, you will answer the question with purpose too. Okay, we're now moving on to the part you've been waiting for. How to structure your 2-minute topic. So imagine this line here represents your 2 minutes. There are 3 parts to your 2 minutes. And the first is ensuring that you have a hook. And I believe your hook for a topic should last about 20 seconds. You see, the worst thing I believe you can do in a topic is immediately answer the question. Because often when people do that, they run out of things to say by 1 minute 20 seconds. And then they're up there not knowing how they're going to fill the rest of the time. A better approach is to create some suspense in those opening 20 seconds. This will do 2 things. Number 1, it will get the audience curious about what you're going to say. And number 2, it gives you more time to think about what you're going to say. So here's an example. In my district final, my topic was, if not now, when? This is how I answered the opening 20 seconds. If not now, I don't know when I will ever do this. When I will take this step that I've wanted to take for my entire life. So today, I'd like to make a big announcement. I'm opening a museum for my fridge magnet collection. So did you notice how I didn't immediately say I'm launching a fridge magnet museum? Because if I had done that, I wouldn't have created that suspense, that build up, and I would have given myself less time to think. Because the truth is, I had no idea what I was going to say until 20 seconds in. So give yourself that 20 seconds leeway by having a good, intriguing hook. Okay, now we can move on to the middle part of your topic, which is where you tell a specific story. And I recommend taking about 1 minute, 20 seconds to tell this story. Now, firstly, the reason we want to tell a story is because it gets you into a flow. I'm sure you've seen topics where people don't tell stories. And what tends to happen is they jump from one idea to the other, and there seems to be a bit of a disconnect, not much of a flow, and it becomes quite confusing and convoluted for your audience. But if you tell one story or tell several stories that are related to the topic, you find that your delivery, your body language, your voice becomes a lot more impactful, and you get into a bit of a flow. It no longer becomes I'm speaking impromptu, it becomes I'm telling a story. Now, this is where our three different types of topics are very important, because depending on what you're asked, that's going to determine the type of story you have to tell. For instance, if it is a personal topic, who is your favorite speaker? You are then going to have to share a personal example. You're going to have to share why that speaker has been so impactful for you in your personal life. If the topic is external, what is the greatest medical intervention of all time, for example? That was actually a topic I was asked once. You are going to have to share an external observation of what you believe the greatest intervention may be. A lot of people say penicillin, for instance, so you'd have to focus in on that. And if you're asked a crazy topic, well, you're going to probably have to tell a crazy story. You might have to make up a story. I remember I was given the topic once of, Kyle, you and Bill have just won £1 million, but you've fallen out. How will you tell Bill? And so then I had to start making up this story about how Bill and I were in a long-term relationship, about how we were in love, about how Bill cheated on me and then we broke up, and how he was not getting any of my £1 million. Crazy, bonkers, but sometimes that's what you have to do. The point is, when you hear the question, try to ask yourself, is this personal, external, or crazy? Because that's going to determine the type of story you need to tell in the middle of your topic. What's most important is that you must ensure whatever story you tell relates to the question. If you don't connect your answer with the question, you're not going to win. So always find a way to create that linkage between what you're saying and what you've been asked. The final part of the structure is ending with a close. And this should only take about 20 seconds. And when it comes to creating a close, I believe you've got two options. Option number one, you summarize what you have already said. So linking back to my table topic about fridge magnets, I could end by saying, so in summary, I am 100% going to launch my fridge magnet museum. It's only £10 entry and I would love to see you there. The other option is to end with a call to action. This is where you're encouraging the audience to take action on what you've said during the topic. So for example, with the fridge magnets, I could say, so I'm going to open a museum. But the real question is, what are you going to do? If not now, when will you take action on your dreams? So personally, I prefer the summary. I think the call to action can be a little bit preachy, but sometimes if the topic is inspirational in nature, a call to action works much better. Ultimately, it's up to you, but make sure you end in an impactful way, because as you know, what is said last lasts with the audience. Finally, let's talk about how to practice for your table topics contest. Now, even though you can't prepare exactly what you're going to say because you don't know the question, you can prepare for the situation. What I'm talking about is becoming comfortable with the idea of being asked a random question and then answering it for 2 minutes in a confident way. And the best way to do that is through reps. In the lead up to my district contest, my fiance, Emma, asked me a table topic every single day. They would be a mix of personal, external, and crazy, and I would literally get up, like I was doing a contest, and deliver a topic for 2 minutes. And then she would give me feedback on how she thought I did. I would do a self-evaluation of myself, and each day I would try and improve my topics. We did this for 4 weeks, and I have to say it is the sharpest I've ever felt when it comes to answering table topics. It made my contest a breeze, and it's pretty much the key reason I won. Now, you might not have a partner who can ask you questions, but you can visit clubs and do table topics. You can YouTube table topic contests Listen to the topic and then immediately answer the question. You can use an AI platform and ask it to ask you table topics. There are ways you can prepare, my friend. So before your contest, make sure you're doing at least one topic a day. It will get you feeling razor sharp for the big day of your contest. I hope you found this video valuable. If you have, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, put in a comment. I would really appreciate that. And if you'd like to learn how to win your evaluation contest as well, why not? Check out this video here. It's a complete guide on how to ace your evaluations. But for now, I wish you the best of luck for your upcoming contest, and I hope you now feel more confident for your next table topic.